Hey, welcome back, Ram fans. Going to have some fun here today. Going to talk about the Rams roster locks. How can I do that in late March? Well, I do this every year around this time of year. It's for fun and a little bit of a diversion. Not a lot happening in the NFL. So let's roll with it. Let's have some fun with this. I'm going to tell you who my roster locks are, and I take this very seriously. A roster lock is a player that you are 100% absolutely certain they are going to be on this roster come September. And it's a pretty dicey proposition when you start thinking about it. I'm not talking about a 90%, 80% chance, 100% going to be on this roster. So let's have some fun with this. I'll try to explain my logic as we move along here. And I'm also going to include rookies that I think are going to be on this roster. Now, I'm not going to tell you which rookies, but I'm going to tell you what positions, and I'll explain as we go. It'll all make sense to you, hopefully, as we move through this group. Now, it is episode 91, or I'm sorry, 691. We're going to talk about a player who wore number 91. I've already talked about Dominic Easley. And I've already talked about Leslie O'Neal, two players that made their marks really with other teams, but then came in and played for the Rams briefly. This episode, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite defensive linemen of recent years, Greg Gaines, number 91 out of La Habra, California, and the University of Washington. Drafted by the Rams in 2019, played 4 years for us, won a Super Bowl for our Los Angeles Rams, playing alongside guys like Aaron Donald. Greg Gaines knew what his job was. His job was to eat up blocks, be the big guy in the middle of that defense, and he did it well. Not a lot of fanfare, but he was a pretty good player. Moved on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's played 2 years there and just re-upped, by the way, 1 year. I think it was $3.5 million. So congratulations to Greg Gaines. I was hoping he'd make his way back to California, but apparently the Rams didn't see that as a move they wanted to make. Maybe Greg wasn't interested, who knows, but Greg Gaines, our number 91 for the Los Angeles Rams. And hey, real briefly, while we're talking about episode 691, I wanted to talk about something. A couple of people on the YouTube channel have complained over the last couple months about the number of ads on the audio version on the YouTube channel. So here's a little tip. The audio content on the audio version and the video version, 90% of the time, if not more, they are the exact same. So the audio version is going to have the podcast ads with the YouTube ads on top of it. The video version has just the YouTube ads. So I'd rather you listen to the ads. That's one way to support this channel. But if you're finding it too much listening to the audio version, just listen to the video version. You won't have to get through those podcast ads. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Take your pick, but if the ads are too much for you, jump over to the video version and just listen. Okay, let's get on with this roster locks segment here. I'm going to start with the quarterbacks, and Matthew Stafford and Jimmy G, both 100% locks. And we're saying, at this point, we're pretty set. We're set prep pretty good with our quarterbacks, our number 1 and 2 quarterbacks at this point. Not too many teams have what the Rams have here. Two very talented, one extremely talented and one pretty darn good quarterback. To the backup, if Jimmy G had to come in, I'd still feel like we have a shot, right? And not too many number 2 quarterbacks. You don't feel that way about too many number 2 quarterbacks is what I'm saying. But I feel that way about Jimmy G. Guys won a lot of football games at the NFL level. Now, I have a rookie to be determined with a 50% shot at making this roster, and Stetson Bennett with a 50%. Let me explain. If the Rams draft a quarterback and I think there's a 50% chance they do, probably even more, he will be the number 3 quarterback, not Stetson Bennett. If they do not draft a quarterback, it'll be Stetson Bennett's job. So hence the 50% for both of them. Maybe it's more of a 60-40 proposition in favor of that rookie. Okay, so we have 2 locks. We're going to move on to the running backs, and this is where I'm going to get a little bit of pushback. But once again, I'm going to explain what a true lock is. Kyren Williams and Blake Corum, 100% locks. And I have a rookie to be determined as a 90% lock, and Ronnie Rivers, an 80% lock, Cody Schrader, 30%. Now, how can that be? Well, I understand Ronnie Rivers just got the contract, but it really depends on where the Rams draft a running back, because they will. Is it going to be early? Is it going to be late? If it's early, he's probably going to be the number 3 running back, or certainly competing with Ronnie Rivers for playing time. The way McVay runs this offense, neither of them will probably ever see the field. But I just don't think Ronnie Rivers is a lock at this point, because if they do draft a high running back and Cody Schrader shows something, I don't know. I just have this sneaky suspicion that Ronnie Rivers could be on the outside looking in. He'll probably be on this roster come September, and I get it. Maybe I should have made it 90, 95% for Ronnie Rivers. Just not willing to say he's a lock at this point. And that's probably the one you're going to disagree with the most with me on. And that's fair enough. I get it. Next time I do this, I may switch that up. But, if you're going to make him 100%, then you're going to give Cody Schrader almost a 0 chance of making this roster. And maybe that's the case. Okay, let's move on to the tight ends. By the way, we're up to 4 locks, 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs. We get to tight ends, and you're probably not going to like this either. I have a rookie to be determined as the only player that's 100% locked. The Rams are going to draft a tight end. A lot of good tight ends in this draft. They're going to grab one, and he's going to be on this roster. Tyler Higbee, I have at 90%, and that's mainly due to his contract situation and his health issues. Hey, I hope he's back. I love the guy, one of my favorite players. And he probably will. The reason I 90%, the reason that's there is because, hey, a lot of people, several people I really respect have been predicting the Rams are going to move on from him 2 years ago, and then again 1 year ago. And hey, credit to Tyler Higbee. He's still here. He's still there. But there's a chance the Rams move on from him after June 1st. So that's where that 10% chance of not being on this roster comes from. Colby Parkinson, 80%, they could move on from him. A lot of people are asking for that, actually. And then Davis Allen, if Higbee comes back, if Parkinson comes back and makes this team, if they do draft the rookie, Davis Allen, I have him at 80%. Maybe it should be a little bit lower. But there you have it, 80%. And then I have a surprise addition at 30%. And that would be in the case of, for example, Tyler being cut. And then they bring in a street free agent, a mid-range guy to replace him, a veteran with some experience. So just one new lock, and I don't have a name for this player. He's a rookie, but he'll be on this roster. So we're up to 5 locks. Man, I have a feeling I'm going to get some nasty comments on this video. But hey, let's have fun with this. Offensive line, I have 6 roster locks. I have Alaric Jackson, Steve Avila, Coleman Shelton, Kevin Dotson, Rob Havenstein, and Bo Limmer. 100%. All of them are going to be there. And then I have Warren McClendon as a backup tackle and Justin Dedich as a backup interior offensive lineman. I gave both of them an 80% chance. Dylan McMahon, I don't know what to make of him. Don't know what the Rams think of him. He was a 6th-round pick of the Eagles. Rams picked him up off the practice squad. I give him a 60% chance. And then one other guy, a rookie, KT Leviston, AJ Curry, Your guess is as good as mine. And the reason it's difficult for with the offensive line is how many do they carry? They've carried 8, they've carried 10. I think it'll be more likely 9 or 10. And so it's hard to put a percentage on this. I try to make these mathematically sound if you haven't been noticing. But with a group like this, where you're not quite sure how many they're going to carry, gets a little more complicated. But 6 roster locks along the offensive line. So we are up to 11 roster locks. Let's move on to the wide receiver group. I have 5 roster locks. Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Jordan Whittington, and Tutu Atwell, and a rookie to be determined. The Rams will draft a rookie. He will be on this roster. And then again, are they going to carry 6 wide receivers? They likely will. And that would be a battle between Xavier Smith and a surprise addition, another free agent, an undrafted rookie, maybe another rookie. Maybe they draft 2 wide receivers. Depends on how many picks they end up with. They're not going to be doubling up on a position unless they add picks. And I'm hoping they don't add picks. I'm hoping they go for quality over quantity. But regardless, Xavier Smith, yeah, he'll have the edge up because he is really good in the return game. And actually, now that I think about that, that alone would probably increase his chances of making this roster. So maybe we go 75% Xavier, 25% a surprise addition. But hey, I got it in print up here this time around, so we'll stick with 50. We are up to 16 roster locks with the 5 wide receivers here. Okay, special teams, pretty straightforward. I got 3 roster locks, Joshua Carty, Ethan Evans, and Alex Ward. 16 plus 3, we're up to 19 roster locks. And the defensive line, pretty good group. I'm starting to love this group. Turner and Fisk, 100%. Tyler Davis and Poona Ford, 100%. Then we have Deshaun Johnson and Laurel Murchison. And, the Rams are probably going to carry 6 guys. Could get by with 5, not sure. And there could be a rookie in the mix as well. I don't think it'll be a high draft pick, given how solid this unit is right now. But I'm giving Johnson and Murchison an 80% chance each to make this roster. And, the easy thing to say is, the initial call on this would be, they're both going to be on the roster. 100%, 100%. But take this lock seriously. Are you really that sure they're going to be there on that 53-man roster come September? I don't know. Not willing to say that about Deshaun Johnson and Laurel Murchison. I hope they are, because these 6 guys, the 4 100% locks, Johnson and Murchison, really happy with that unit. But there could be another player in the mix we don't know about yet, and a rookie as well. So 4 more locks. We're up to 23. Now we're going to go to the edge rushers, and Jared Verse and Byron Young, obviously 100%. And then I have Nick Hampton and Brennan Jackson at 90%. Hampton, he's kind of the 5th guy last year. Played well, got hurt, is coming back from an injury, so there's that. And Brennan Jackson, kind of a redshirt year, right? He was hurt early. Got some playing time at the very end, got a lot of snaps in that 18th week game against Seattle. So I don't know what we have here. Is he not as good as the Rams hoped, or is it just bringing him along real slowly and this is going to be his year? Rams are probably going to draft an edge rusher at some point. There will definitely be some undrafted rookies that come in to compete for a spot. So not willing to give Hampton and Jackson the 100% lock label. And then there's Keir Thomas. He's just a little bit behind Hampton and Jackson. He had some good moments. So I'm giving him 80%. And then this rookie, some rookie that comes in, most likely. I don't think they're bringing in any more free agents at that position. Most likely a rookie. So just 2 locks, Jared Verse and Byron Young, kind of no-brainers. 2 more locks. We are up to 25. Now we're going to the inside linebacker, another kind of a difficult group to assess. Omar Spates and Nate Landman, 100% locks. And going out on a limb here a little bit, this is one I don't feel that great about. And maybe that's enough to say not 100% lock, but I think they draft a rookie, a more, a coverage linebacker, a little bit more speed to go sideline to sideline to augment the Landman and Spates skill set. And if they do draft a linebacker, well, I guess I'm saying they are going to draft a linebacker and he will be on this roster. And if they carry four, they very well may not. A rookie or another free agent would have had a 50% chance. This is a weird group. And, trying to assess what the Rams might do at that position. Good luck with that. I mean, they draft Ernest Jones in the second round and then trade him away a couple years later. And they bring in guys like Troy Reeder and Bryce Hager, and it just goes on and on. Guys that kind of get it done but aren't real exciting. They finally get a guy like Ernest Jones, and locker room issues, I assume. Well, who knows what the Rams are going to do here, but I'm going to roll with Spates and Landman as 100% locks and a rookie to be determined as a lock as well. So we have 3 more locks and we're up to 28. At cornerback, I think Akilla Witherspoon and Kobe Durant are both 100% locks. And I think they're going to draft a cornerback. That's one position they almost have to, in my opinion, to improve this group. Got so many bodies we need. That would be my best guess right now in the first round would be a cornerback. I don't know, maybe a tight end. I can't decide. I change my mind every 2 minutes on that one. And then there's Darius Williams. I'm not suggesting the Rams should move on from him. I'm not suggesting they will, but there's a possibility they do after June 1st. Is he overpaid a little bit? I think so. It might depend on what, this rookie that they bring in and how he fits in. And then there's Emmanuel Forbes. Didn't really get a time to show what he can do with the Rams last year. I think he's got a 75% chance of making this roster. Darion Kendrick, what an enigma he is. He comes back. Is he a 50%? I got him as 50% chance of making this team. Is he going to be an impact player at all? Seemed like he was on the path to do that last year before the injury, the ACL. So here comes Darion Kendrick, got his work cut out from him. And then there's guys like Josh Wallace, Charles Woods, even Sean Jolly, one of those guys, they have 25% chance of making this roster. Again, you can kind of see looking at this presentation here, a lot of guys, a lot of good players, still missing that wow factor in my opinion. But Witherspoon and Durant and a rookie to be determined, my only 3 locks for this group. And we'll find out after June 1st, how it's going to work out with Darius Williams. If he's on this team on June 15th, he will be a roster lock because they aren't keeping him around after June 1st unless they have big plans for him. So 3 more locks. We're up to 31. Safety position, I have those 4 guys as locks: Cameron Curl, Cameron Kinchins, Quentin Lake, and Jalen McCullough. And I think they bring in a free agent, potentially John Johnson. He would have a 25% chance of making this roster. I shouldn't say he has a 25% chance. That's what's going to happen. They bring back John Johnson or someone similar, and he makes this roster. And then a safety they draft or an undrafted rookie, that player would have a shot as well. Again, are they carrying 5 or 6 safeties? Probably 5, or maybe, some of these guys are DBs that can play anywhere. So is he going to end up in the cornerback column with an extra guy on the depth chart there, or is it 5 safeties? We'll have to see. But 4 locks there at the safety position. 31 plus 4, we're up to 35 roster locks. Now, I know that's a lot to get through, probably going too fast, but let's rehash this. I got a list here For those of you on the YouTube channel, I'll go through this one more time for you listening to the audio version. We got the two quarterbacks, Matthew Stafford and Jimmy G, the two running backs, Kyron Williams and Blake Corum, a bunch of offensive linemen. I think we have 6 here. Alaric Jackson, Steve Avila, Coleman Shelton, Bo Limmer, Kevin Dotson, Rob Havenstein, and 4 wide receivers, Devontae Adams, Puka Nakua, Jordan Whittington, and Tutu Atwell. Special teamers, Joshua Carty, Ethan Evans, and Alex Ward. Defensive line, Kobe Turner, Puna Ford, Braden Fisk, and Tyler Davis. 2 edge rushers, Jared Verse and Byron Young. 2 inside linebackers, Omar Spates and Nate Landman. 2 cornerbacks, Akilla Witherspoon and Kobe Durant. Seems a little light, doesn't it? There's just so many guys competing for spots there. That's really why. And then the 4 safeties, Cameron Curl, Cam Kinchins, Quentin Lake, and Jalen McCullough. Now that is 31 names, 31 players. And then I have 4 spots that are going to be taken up by rookies, guaranteeing it right now, 100%. There will be a rookie tight end, a rookie wide receiver, a rookie cornerback, and a rookie linebacker taking up spots on this roster. So, hey, you're going to have your receipts. We'll see how accurate I was. I'm actually going pretty conservative. I could have went out on a limb and added some more guys, but I'm trying to identify true roster locks. And that's what I have for you. 31 players, 4 draft picks. There's a couple I'm already second guessing myself on, but hey, comment away. Tell me where I got it right, where I got it wrong. And bottom line is, you look at this roster, it's pretty darn good. A pretty healthy roster, a team that can definitely make a run for an NFC West title and a potential Super Bowl. A couple of areas of improvement, a couple of spots we could, pump up a little bit. We'll get into that in another episode. Roster is starting to shape up, though. That's all. Hope you enjoyed it. Throw your darts, shoot away. Tell me where I got it right, where I got it wrong. I welcome the feedback out here from Rams Up.